Ang topic natin ngayon is about factorials, which is using the punctuation mark as a symbol. So, ano ba itong tinatawag nating factorial? The factorial function with symbol punctuation mark says to multiply all whole numbers from our chosen number down to 1. So, what it means is that if we have a factorial of a given number, we have to multiply all the whole numbers starting from our chosen number pababa papunta sa 1. So, we have some examples here para mas maintindihan natin. We have here 4 factorial. So, 4 is our chosen number here. So, as per our definition, we will multiply all whole numbers from our chosen number down to 1. So, our chosen number is 4. We will multiply it sa lahat ng whole numbers down to 1. So, we have 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 24. Right? Because 4 times 3 is equal to 12 times 2 is equal to 24 times 1 is equal to 24. Now, we will do the same if we have 6 factorial. In here, our chosen number is 6. And we are going to multiply all whole numbers from our chosen number down to 1. So, we will multiply 6 to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 720. Therefore, in getting the factorial, we have this following general formula. So, if we have n factorial, n is any positive integer here. So, our number multiplied to n minus 1, multiplied to n minus 2, multiplied to n minus 3 until we reach 1. Okay, so if we have, let's say, n is equal to 6, so we have 6 times 6 minus 1, which is 5, times 6 minus 2, which is 4, times 6 minus 3, which is 3. So, ito na yon. 3, then 2, and then 1. And in another representation, we have n factorial is equal to our chosen number times n minus 1 factorial. So, we have to take note of this because gagamitin natin to later kapag tayo ay nagsisimplify na ng factorial with a variable. Okay? So, let us have another example here. So, we have here our chosen number n as 5. Okay? So, we need to get n factorial and our n is equal to 5. So, 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 120. So, we have a table here na pwede ninyong tignan. Of course, this is continuous. This table is until 5 only, but this is how it will looks like. So, n factorial, if our n is equal to 1, 1 factorial is equal to 1. 2 factorial is equal to 2 times 1, which is 2. 3 factorial is equal to 3 times 2 times 1, or 3 times 2 factorial, which is equal to 6. 4 factorial is equal to 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, or 4 times 3 factorial, which is equal to 24. So, 5, we have 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and this is also equal to 5 times 4 factorial is equal to 120. So, itong nakikita natin dito, this is the second general formula that we have right there. So, kaya meron tayo ditong if our n is equal to 3, we have n times n minus 1 factorial. So, our n is 3 times n minus 1, which is 3 minus 1, will be 2 factorial. Okay? So, I hope you get this up to this point. Now, how about 0 factorial? Well, we have to take note that 0 factorial is equal to 1. And one reason is what you can see here. We have 4 factorial is equal to 24, 3 factorial is equal to 6, 2 factorial is equal to 2, 1 factorial is equal to 1, in which makikita ninyo, in every step, we are dividing it by the lesser number. As you can see, we have here 24 divided by 4 is equal to 6, 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2, 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So, therefore, 0 factorial is equal to 1 divided by 1, which is equal to 1. Now, we have another video concerning 0 factorial, and you can find it on our next lecture. And this is also available sa aming YouTube channel, no? In here, may papakita namin sa inyo ng mas maliwanag kung bakit naging 1 ang ating 0 factorial. Now, moving on, saan ba natin ginagamit yung mga factorials? Well, maraming pwedeng paggamitan ng factorials, but it is more common kapag nag-aral tayo ng statistics in combinations and permutations. So, we have an interesting fact here. For example, 6 weeks is exactly equal to 10 factorial seconds, which is equal to 3,628,800 seconds. Okay, so we have the explanation here. We have 60 seconds in 1 minute, 60 minutes in 1 hour, and 24 hours in 1 day, and 7 days in 1 week, and we have 6 weeks. And then we can factor some numbers in here, and then rearrange it, and lastly, you will have 3 times 3 here will be equal to 9. And as you can see the arrangement here, this is actually 10 factorial. So that means the number of seconds in 6 weeks is exactly equal to 10 factorial. And another use of our factorial is one of the favorite na pag-usapan when we are studying statistics. So there are 52 factorial ways to shuffle a deck of cards. And that is about 8.065 times 10 to the 67 ways to shuffle a deck card. And also, we have here, there are about 60 factorial atoms in the observable universe. This is about 8.32 times 10 to the 81. And the current estimates are between 10 to the 78 to 10 to the 82 atoms in the observable universe. And of course, marami pa tayong pwedeng paggamitan ng factorials. Now, the question is, do we have factorials for negative integers? No. Negative integer factorials are undefined. Does decimals and fractions have factorials? Yes, but we need to get into a subject called the gamma function, which is beyond this topic na pinag-aaralan natin ngayon. So, it can also be negative because only negative integers are undefined. Now, let us move on to simplifying factorials. Now, sabi ko kanina, i-take note natin yung pangalawang general formula natin for factorials. And we have here, n factorial is equal to n times n minus 1 factorials. So, it can be written this way. 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 5 minus 1 factorial, or 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 factorial. And it can be written as well this way, no? 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 factorial, no? So, as long as this will represent the remaining numbers, no? Because 3 factorial is still equal to 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, so you can do it anywhere dito sa ating ginagawang expansion. So, let us have an example here. Let us simplify 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial. So, basically, 4 factorial is equal to 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, di ba? And divided by our 2 factorial, which is 2 times 1. So, as you can see, we have 2 and 1 in our numerator and 2 and 1 in our denominator. So, therefore, this will be cancelled out. Diba? So, ang ating magiging sagot dito is 4 times 3, which is equal to 12. Okay? And next problem, we have 6 factorial over 4 factorial. Now, I will do yung etong second general equation na meron tayo. No? I will do that or use that dito sa next problem. So, we have 6 factorial and we have 4 factorial on the denominator. Since mas malaki itong ating numerator at mas maliit ang ating denominator, I will keep the 4 factorial here. Now, 6 factorial is equal to 6 times 5 times 4 factorial. Diba yan yung ginawa natin kanina dito? Okay? So, we will just be doing the same here. So, as you can see ngayon, meron tayong magkaparehong quantity sa numerator and denominator. We have 4 factorial in the numerator and 4 factorial in the denominator. So this will be cancelled out. So now we have a remaining in our numerator 6 times 5. So this will be 6 times 5, which is equal to 30. And this is our final answer. But how are we going to simplify factorials with variables? Well, first, tignan natin itong tanong dito. What do you think? N minus 1 factorial is greater or less than n minus 5 factorial? Well, to think about this, we know that n factorial is equal to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 until we reach 2 times 1, di ba? So, what are we going to do if we have n minus 2 factorial? If we have n minus 2 factorial, we will have n minus 2 times n minus 2 minus 1, which is equal to n minus 3, di ba? Then times n minus 3 minus 1, which is equal to n minus 4, times n minus 4 minus 1. So, lagi mong isusubtract yung 1, di ba? Ganun ang ginagawa natin. So, this is equal to n minus 5, and so on. So, simplifying this, n minus 2 factorial is equal to n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4 times n minus 5 factorial. Diba? Kasi kung ano yung dulo natin, pwede natin gawing factorial pa katulad ng ginawa natin dito, no? As you can see here. Okay, so we have n minus 5 factorial right here, which is tinatanong sa atin kung greater ba yung n minus 2 factorial sa n minus 5 factorial. So, as you can see dito sa ating given, no? Yung n minus 5 factorial just started right here. So, that means ang n minus 2 factorial is greater by this number. Okay, because you need to subtract 2, subtract 3, subtract 4 until you reach n minus 5 factorial. So, therefore, n minus 2 factorial is greater than n minus 5 factorial. So, now let us have another example here. N plus 1 factorial is equal to n plus 1 times n plus 1 minus 1 is equal to n. This because that will be n plus 0. Then we have n minus 1, then n minus 2, then n minus 3 factorial. Diba? So, our n factorial just started right here. So, that means our n plus 1 factorial is greater than n minus 3 factorial. So, bakit natin to pinag-aralan? Because we are going to use that in simplifying factorials with variables. So, here are the steps in simplifying factorials with variables. Compare the factorials in the numerator and the denominator. So, ayun na yung ginawa natin kanina. We need to compare in order to know which one is greater and which one is lesser. Then, expand the larger factorial such that it includes the smaller ones in the sequence. Cancel out the common factors between the numerator and the denominator, and then simplify further by multiplying or dividing the leftover expression. Okay? So, we have here n factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial. So, which one is greater? N factorial or n minus 2 factorial? So, as what we have learned earlier, n factorial is greater than the n minus 2 factorial, right? So, let us expand our n factorial. We have in our numerator n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial, diba? Then, our denominator is equal to n minus 2 factorial. So, as you can see, we have n minus 2 factorial in the numerator and n minus 2 factorial sa denominator. So, we can cancel this out. So, therefore, we have n times n minus 1 in our right-hand side of the equation. So, n factorial over n minus 2 factorial is equal to, we are going to use distributive property here. So, n times n is equal to n squared minus n. So, this is our final answer dito sa ating sample problem. Now, moving on sa next sample natin, we have n plus 1 factorial over n plus 3 factorial. So, dito, which one is greater? Is n plus 1 factorial greater or less than n plus 3 factorial? So, in here, n plus 1 factorial is less than n plus 3 factorial. So, we are going to expand itong n plus 3 factorial. Okay? So, in our numerator, we have n plus 1 factorial and then expand natin ang ating denominator. We have n plus 3 times, we will subtract 1. So, we have n plus 2 times n plus 1 factorial, right? Now, again, we have n plus 1 factorial in the numerator and n plus 1 factorial sa denominator. So, this will be cancelled out. So, ano ngayon ang may iwan sa atin? We have 1 over n plus 3 times n plus 2. Now, we can have this as our answer, but we can also expand it. N plus 1 factorial over n plus 3 factorial is equal to 1 over n times n, which is n squared, times n times 2 is plus 2n, 3 times n plus 3n, plus 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So, this can also be written as n plus 1 factorial over n plus 3 factorial is equal to 1 over n squared plus 5n plus 6. And this is our final answer for this sample problem. Okay, so now we are going to show you kung paano gamitin yung calculator in solving for factorial. So, you will be using a scientific calculator as you can see right here. And ang ating factorial, you will see in a factorial button like this. So, and to use it, you just need to replace n by the number of your choice. For example, gusto nyo makuha yung 5 factorial, you will just need to click 5 and then itong n factorial and then you will see the answer right here. So, ganun lang kadali kapag gumamit tayo ng calculator, makukuha kagad natin yung factorial ng number na gusto nating masolve. Well, that's it for now guys, and thank you for watching. We are inviting you to register sa www.engineers.org. It is a community of Filipino engineers, engineering students, and STEM students. Thank you very much and have a nice day.